Running Node.js API on Amazon Linux EC2 with custom domain and SSL certificate. Hello everyone, my name is Ankush Jain and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can deploy a Node.js API on Amazon Linux EC2 instance with custom domain and with SSL certificate. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So here on this page I have provided all the instructions or all the steps that we are going to perform in this video. So you can just get to this page. I have provided the link in the description below. So we are going to execute the step one, which is basically we are going to create an EC2 instance. And in order to create an EC2 instance, we have to move to our AWS console here. So search for EC2 here in the search bar, click here. And once you click, or you will be here on EC2 dashboard, then click on instances, click on launch instances. Here, just provide some name to your web server. I have already defined a name here, so I will just copy and paste my web server. Then select the AMI. So here we are going to select Amazon Linux. Here we will select Amazon Linux 2023 AMI, which is the latest AMI as of now. Here we will select the 64-bit x86 Intel based processor, not ARM. Reason being, because here we have multiple instance types and not all the instance types support ARM based processor. So that's why we are selecting x86. Now I'm going with the T2 micro, which is a free tier eligible instance. Then I will select a key pair. If you don't have a key pair, then just go here and click create a new one. Use the PEM format, which works for both Windows as well as Linux. In the network setting, I will click here edit. Then I will select my VPC. I will select, I won't select the subnet. I just want it to be automatically selected by AWS. Then this is enable auto assign public IP. For the security group, I will just create a new security group, which is my web server SG, and I will provide the name here. I will keep the description similar to my security group name. Then I will remove all the inbound security group rules. For now, I will add those rules later on. Then in the storage, I will update the storage to 30 GB because that is also a free tier eligible storage of EBS. Then open the advanced detail and just select IAM instance profile, and here I'm going to select an IAM role which I have already created for myself. And why I'm doing it, because I want to access my EC2 instance using session manager. And uh, with that, what happens, we don't have to open a port 22 in order to access or in order to SSH our EC2 instance. So what you can do, you can just go and create an IAM role and assign this managed policy, which I have specified here, Amazon SSM managed instance core. So once you create a role and assign this policy, so you can then attach that role to your EC2 instance. I can also show you how I have done it. IAM role, that is pretty straightforward, but yeah, it is good to know. So what I have done, I have created this role, and this role you can see the policy, which is Amazon SSM managed instance core. This allows you to access your EC2 instance via sessions manager. So we don't have to open 22 port on in our security group. So just create a role and attach it here. Then the next thing I am doing is I'm just selecting this request spot instances, because I am going to create an spot instance for this demo, as that will cost me less as compared to on demand instance. But yeah, if your API is going to run 24/7, then just don't click it. And then last thing, user data script. So okay, we don't need any user data script here. So just with that setting, I'm clicking launch instance button, and that will basically start my EC2 instance. Okay, I will go to instances and I will refresh it. So I will one is terminated, which I had created earlier. So our new instance is in pending state and it is now running. So I will just click here and we'll select action and then we'll select connect. Okay, so as of now I cannot connect, but I have to wait for some time. After that, this connect button will be enabled. So let's wait for a moment. Okay, now it is enabled. So what we will do, we will just click here and click on connect. So what it will do, it will basically open the shell window here, and now we can access our EC2 instance. So if I run a command, who am I? So it says you are a SSM user because we are accessing uh, this EC2 instance from sessions manager. Okay. So now, what is the next thing? So we have to ensure that Node version is installed. But before that, we have to install the Node.js. So we are going to use DNF package manager because this is a Fedora based instance. So I'm going to type sudo DNF install -y Node.js. And what it will do, it will basically install the Node.js on our latest EC2 instance. Okay, so instance is, Node.js is installed. Let me verify Node.js version. So you can see 18.18.2 version is installed. Next thing is we have to create security group. So we had already created security group. It's just that we have to open few ports. So I will select the EC2 instance, go into the security tab. I will open the security group in a new tab. I will scroll down. I will edit inbound rule. I will add a new rule here. I will select HTTP and port that is selected. You see here I'm allowing the access from anywhere. Then the next thing, select HTTPS because later point of time we will enable SSL certificate. So for that we need to enable access on port 443 as well, and also select anywhere. Now just click on save rules. Okay, we are all good. So we are done with the step one, I guess. Sorry, here. Okay, we are done with the step one. Next step is to install Nginx. So we have to run this command sudo dnf install Nginx. Just copy it. So I just want to call out here the one thing is we have two types of package managers in Linux. One is a yum, another is apt, and DNF is basically an improved version of yum. So that is what supported on Amazon Linux 2023 AMI. Because if I run this command, which is cat OS release, so I can show you. If I paste it and run this command, so you can see this AMI is ID like Fedora. So Fedora is supports yum and DNF as well. So that's why we are using the DNF package manager to install our dependencies like Node.js, Nginx. Okay, so I will run this command. In the second step is to install Nginx. So I will come back here. I will close the security group. I will clear all this and will just paste it and run this. Okay, it is asking me to say yes. So Nginx is installed. Next, we have to run these commands because Nginx is a service, so we have to enable it and we have to start it. It is similar to a Windows service that runs in the background. So we have to enable the Nginx, then we have to start the Nginx. And once this Nginx service is installed and started, the benefit of this is, once your system stops and then EC2 instance stops and then it restarts, so the Nginx will be automatically started. So that's why it creates a service. Okay, so the service is active and running, and if we have to prove that it is running, so what I will do, I will just go here in our EC2 instance. I will select this DNS name. I will open this and run it here. So we should get an Nginx page, and we are getting an Nginx page. So that means our Nginx is running. Now moving to the third part, create a Node.js API and upload it to S3 bucket. So since this tutorial is about to how we can run the Node.js API on EC2, so what we are going to do, we are going to create a new Node.js API and then we will deploy it to EC2 instance. But before that, we have to deploy it to S3 bucket as well. Okay, let's see how what we are doing. So we have to run these commands step by step. So what I'm going to do here is basically, okay, I will do the things and you will get to know. So first I'm creating a new directory here. So what I will do, I will go to desktop. Okay, so this is my location. Okay. So I'm at the POCs folder in my computer, and then I will run this command make directory. So I'm going to create a new directory, my Node.js API. Then I will move to the my Node.js API. Here what I will do, here I will just run this npm init. So what it will do, it will create a new Node.js project. Okay, so you see it is asking me to provide the package name. I'm just entering because I just want to keep the same name. Enter description. If you want to provide description, you can provide. Then entry point is index.js. That's fine. Test command, I don't want to provide any test command. Get repository, enter. Author, I will provide my name. And then license, enter. Okay, yes, yes. Then the project has been created. Now what I will do, I will just open this entire new project in my Visual Studio Code. So you see a package JSON has been created with the instructions that we have provided. So the main file is in entry point is index.js. So that's what I have already mentioned here. Next, what we will do, we will install an Express framework. Okay, so what we will do, we will just run npm install Express here. So Express.js is also installed, and you will see this file is also updated, I guess. Uh-huh. It is updated. Dependency Express has been added here. Okay, I will close this. I will close this. Now what I will do, and node modules have also been, you can also see one more folder, node modules, because we installed this Express. So what I will do, I will just I will create an index.js page or file here on the root, and I will copy this information, sorry, not information, the content from here. So what, this is a simple Express.js API and nothing hyphen do in this. Then what we are going to do, we basically installed the node modules, so that's fine. Now I'm going to update this npm start. So I will go here in the package. So here I will just type start, and I will node index. So when I run npm start, it will basically run node index command. And here in the type, I will add this as well. So what I will do here, if you see, you type and then you get two options, common JS or module. So I want to use ES6 modules in this project, so I will just use module because this is the latest one. Common JS is an older approach of using modules. So since we are using ES6 modules, that's why we are using import here. Otherwise we would be using require block here. Okay, so now I will just run this project, and in order to make sure that this is working, so I will just go here and run npm start, and this will start our API on port 3000. So we can verify this. Okay, this is running here, and we are getting a hello word here. So this is running. Okay, fine. So what I will do, I will just close this, and I will close this as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the inside the directory here. So here, this is the directory. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to, including node modules, I'm going to create a zip of this, because node modules we need to include because that contains our dependencies. So this is my API. So what I will do, I will node.js.api, and I will deploy this, or I will upload this to my S3 bucket. So I will go here in S3 bucket, and inside bucket you have to create a bucket. If you don't have, then please go and create. I already have a bucket, so I will just select this bucket, which is my personal bucket. I will just select upload, and will add the Node.js API zip file here. Okay, and then we'll upload, and we'll close. You can see the file has been added here in my bucket. So we are done with the step, I guess, step 3 as well. We have created Node.js API and uploaded the content to S3 bucket. Now moving to the step 4, where we are going to create certain directories on our EC2 instance. So I'm going to run these commands one by one. So let me explain you what I'm trying to achieve here. So first thing, I will create two directories on the root level. One is www root and another is the root www root temp. Then I will, inside www root, I will create one more directory which is for my application, where I will deploy my API. So inside www root, I will if I have multiple APIs, so I have multiple folders for each API or each application. But www temp is a temporary folder where I will be just downloading the file from S3 bucket and will be then copying the content to the our application specific directory in www root. All right, so with that, I'm going to run these commands. So I will just clean this. I will go on the root with pwd. I can check my location, so I'm on root. Now I will create sudo mkdir www root. Sudo means super user, so that provides you highest privileges. That is done. Then I will do this. So I have created two folders. You can see in the and www root and www root temp. Now what I will do, I will go to cd www root. Then I will create one more directory which is for my application. So I am considering my application name would be sample API. So I will be using the same name and throughout the tutorial. Okay, I will just do the paste and I will provide a space here, not here, here. Okay, so I have created the directory and I can check it with the ls command. Okay, sample API. So that's all good. We will move to the next step. We are done with the step 4 as well. Now moving to the step 5. Oh, we are going to copy the application code into the directory. Okay. Our main goal is to copy the code into this sample API. So how we are going to do it? So we are going to run these commands. So first I will go to the root. Okay. So I will run these commands. Okay. I will first clean this. So I'm on root now. Then I will go to the temp directory. So I will run this command. Okay, so I will check my location. Okay, I am on this temp directory. Then I will delete all the content of temp directory since I do not have any content as of now, so that's fine. Then I will just download the file which I basically copied here, Node.js API, to my temporary directory. So I will copy this and I will paste it here. Sorry, here. Yeah. So now I will have to generate a pre-signed URL. So I will go here, I will select this action, share a pre-signed URL in minutes. I want that this URL should be valid for 10 minutes. I will create a pre-signed URL, copy this, paste it here, and then just copy the entire command, run this command here. Okay, now the file has been downloaded in your directory, which is temporary directory. Okay, and my location is pwd. So inside the www root temp, a published api.zip file has been downloaded. So now the next thing is you have to unzip this file and you have to unzip this file inside the www root folder inside the application name directory. And you also have to delete the previous content. So since we do not have any content, I am not running that command. So what we will do, we will remove this command from here. We'll just copy the new command, and uh, our application name is the sample API. So I will just replace with the sample API, and then I will run this command from the temporary location where I am right now. So I will just run the paste command and hit enter. So you see my API is copied to www root, the sample API, and then there is node module and the further files. So the next thing is we need to do, we can also delete the current file which is published api.zip, because we are now done with our unzip part, so that file is of no use. So we can just run this. Okay, so let's see where we are at pwd. So we are going to remove everything which is inside the temporary. Okay, so it is asking me to, you want to remove these files. So yes, remove. So let's see, ls. Okay, it has not removed. I think I have to reply as yes, cannot remove. Okay, I have to run this commands with sudo, then it has removed. Okay, so now if I see ls, so I don't see any file there. All right, so we are done with the step 5 as well. The next thing is we have to run this application, Node.js application. Okay, so what we will do, we will move to we will cd into this directory and then we'll run npm start command. Okay, so I will again clear all this. I will go to the root, www root. and then my application name, which is the sample API. Okay, I am at this location. You can verify with pwd command. Then I will run this npm start. So once I run this, you see the application is started running on port 3000. And if you are here, you can just see that your application is running on port 3000. It might not run because we have not exposed port 3000 uh, from our security group, so that's why it might not work here. But if you want to see, so you can see it is running here. Okay, so if I run, I cannot run multiple commands because we have only one session. Otherwise, I would have shown you by hitting a curl command here, and then but eventually it is working. Okay, so we are considering that it is working because here we are getting a message example app listening on port 3000. All right, so next thing what we need to do, or okay, we can do one more thing. So we can just modify our security group of EC2 and go there, EC2 instance. We can select the instance, we can select the security group and edit inbound rule, add one more rule, allow everyone, port 5 5000, or which port it was running on, 3000, sorry, 3000. Okay, so now just save the rule and let's try to hit the 3000 port. So you can see it is running. We are getting a hello world here. So I mean we are now running our Node.js API on EC2 instance. So moving further, since we are running this application manually, so if I stop my EC2 instance and then restart it, so this command will be lost and I won't be able to access my Node.js API running here. So in order to make my API running all the time, whether my EC2 is started and stopped, then I have to create a Linux system D service or daemon service on Linux, so that my service will be always up and running whenever a system starts, or uh, I mean starts, or if we restart the system. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to create a daemon service and just copy this command to create a daemon service and paste it here. So what we are doing, we are basically going to this file, this location, and creating a daemon service file. For the time being, just provide the name as sample API. Okay, or you can keep the daemon name as well. So I'm keeping the sample API here, just sample API dot service. We are opening the nano editor, and we are opening the nano editor with super user privileges. So just okay, I'm doing control C, clear, and then I will just paste it. So this is the editor and we have to paste some content here. So what we are going to do, we are going to copy this content, which is the content of the daemon service. And daemon service is similar to a Windows service in which we have in Windows, which runs in the background. So what it is doing, once the system is restarted, it will run all the services. And what the definition is saying, that it has to go to this location, which is its working directory, and have to run this command. So it has to basically start the index.js with the node, with the I mean node will it is similar to node index.js command, which we have written here in start, which runs basically by npm start. So and yeah, and the port number which we are using here is 3000. We are using node port environment variable. So you can also make the code change here rather than hard coding the 3000. You can check if the environment variable is available, then just read this value from environment variable. Otherwise, fall back on 3000. So as of now, that environment variable will not make any effect, but eventually, you can make those changes. So what we are going to do, we are going to copy this and paste it here, and here inside application name we will just keeping this application name, so which is our folder inside www root directory, and the application name make the change here as well, and rest of the things I guess are same. So I'm going to copy this entire, right click copy, and then we'll go here in the nano editor. I will paste it, then I will mm, press Ctrl O to write out the content. Then I will it is asking file name to write, so I will just press enter. Okay, it says wrote 13 lines. Then I will press Ctrl X to get back to the previous window. So here if I run sudo cat and the same, so it will print the content of this file, and you can verify that the content is correct or not. So we have created a service. Now this service is not yet started. So we have to, similar to Nginx, we have to start this daemon service as well. So we have these commands. So I will just again copy these commands here, and our daemon service name is simple API. So I will just replace the daemon name here. And first I will check the status. So I will run this command first, and here. So as of now, the service is disabled. So what I will do, I will basically enable this service, and then I will also start this service. So service is started and enabled. Now I will check the status again. So you can see the service is running and enabled as well. And if I run this command again, so you can see this time it is working. Earlier it was also working, but this time it is working through system D or a daemon service. All right, so we are done with this change. So even if I restart my EC2 instance and try to hit this URL, then it will work because the service will automatically be started by the OS when it restarts. So we are done with the step 7. The next thing is we have to connect with this connect we have to run this application behind Nginx. So as of now our Node.js server is directly exposed to the external world, but we don't want to access our APIs with directly Node.js server. So we will put Nginx, and then we'll set up it as a reverse proxy server. So we will first run this where is Nginx command. So I mean, yeah, that is something that you can run to know where Nginx is installed. So again, I will just Control C and clean this console here, and we'll run this paste by pasting where is Nginx. So Nginx is installed at these location. Next, you can run this command, and what we are going to do, Nginx has a configuration file where it defines, you know, at what port it is listening, and at what where it has to redirect the request. So we are going to make some changes there. So we will run this command, and what this command will do will basically open this configuration file, Nginx configuration file, in a nano editor. So the file has been opened, and this is the initial file. So you see earlier we were getting an Nginx screen. So in when we were hitting this, okay, so if I hit it, so we are getting this welcome to Nginx page. And how we are getting it, this is has been defined here. So if someone make a request at port 80, so it will be served from user share in Nginx HTML. So here we have at this folder we have that HTML file which is basically served here. So if I go here or I do index.html, so it is the same file. Okay, so this is the file. Now what we are going to do, we are going to change this content, because here we want that when a request come on the port 80, we want that our Node.js API should be hit. So what we are going to do, we will just copy this part. We'll just update this server section with this server section. We will copy this, and we are again, this is the same thing. We are just using, instead of root, we are using proxy, and we are redirecting this to port 3000 on localhost. So where our Node.js API is running. So I will just go here. Okay, I will go here and select all this server section. Okay, yeah, here I will do Control K, and then I will come here again and I will right click and paste it. Okay, so it has no, okay, the indentation has been disturbed, but yeah. So what I will do, I will just press Control O, hit enter, and will back by Control X. So now Nginx has updated the configuration. So now I will have to restart the Nginx service with this command. So Nginx has been restarted. So if I reload this index.html, it should not work. Instead, okay, it should not work because we are not getting index.html. If I enter this, so it should hit our okay, it is not hitting, but if I reload it, so it hits the hello world, which is our Node.js API on the root. I had to do a hard refresh because that was coming through the cache, but now you see our Node.js API is running here. Okay, so that's how we can run our Node.js API behind Nginx server. It's a simple matter of configuration. So we are done with the step 8. Now moving to the step 9, we want to run this application with a custom domain. As of now, this application is running on Amazon domain. So we want to run it on custom domain. So what we will do, I will just go to the Netlify where I am hosting my personal website. Okay, so here what I will do, I will update the domain. I will create a new domain. Inside domains, I will go select this. Here I have DNS records, so I will create a new DNS record and the record. So I will simple API, and then the value would be the IP address of this EC2 instance, public IP. Okay, TTL is 60 seconds. So once the moment I do it, what it will do, it will start redirecting the request to simple API to our EC2 instance. And if I hit this, then it should hit our Node.js API. So you see, now I'm able to access my Node.js API, which is running behind Nginx using a system D service or daemon service. I'm able to access that API with my custom domain, and it is working. Okay, so we are good with the step 9 as well. One thing I would like to call out here is you see there is a server name tag in our configuration, which is this. So as of now, anyone can go, the server name value, sorry, the server name value is underscore. So basically, we are not, we have not restricted any other domain that only this particular domain should be able to access our API. So similar to what I have done, I just pointed my subdomain to this API, so anyone can do it. Anyone can just add your IP and point their domain to your API. So if you do not want that to if you don't want that to happen, so what you can do, you can just update this server name section with the domains that that are allowed or that should be able to access your API. So here I have provided a link to the documentation, and you can just go through it, and you can make your API more secure, and you can restrict the access to specific domains. So moving to the 10th step, which is our last step. So now what we are going to do, we are going to run our API with SSL certificate. And in order to do that, what we are going to do, we are going to uninstall this Nginx and reinstall it. So the purpose of doing this is, we want that we want to bring Nginx on our initial state, because we are not going to use this root level Nginx configuration, okay, which we have modified. So we just want to reset this Nginx configuration. So we are removing it and reinstalling it. Okay, so I will do this command. Okay, remove Nginx. So it will remove Nginx, and then I will run this command. So I will paste it, and I will add -y so that it will not ask me to. Okay, so it is installed, and if I run my API, so I will get Nginx screen again. So because it should get, oh, why it is not coming? Oh, I have to uh, start the Nginx service as well. So which I have done here earlier. Nginx, where it is? Okay. So now I should get an Nginx screen here. Still not getting. Let me check the status. Status unknown verb. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling. It is active. It is running. So it's okay. I don't know why we are not getting the response properly, but let me check again on the IP. Okay, we are getting it here. Then why we are not getting it here? Maybe some issue. So I think if I run it in incognito window to avoid caching issue, we should get it. Anyway, so okay, let me troubleshoot it and then I will get back to you. All right, so I realized it was working, but it was by the way, it was using HTTPS. That's why it was not working. So now if I just remove this S and just hit with HTTP, then it is working. So it is now pointing to the welcome to Nginx screen, which is our default state. So as of now, consider this situation uh, in the 10th part where we want to run our API with SSL and custom domain. So we have just installed the Nginx, fresh Nginx, and we are getting the root screen, okay, of Nginx. We have not modified any configuration. And when you are running or when you want to deploy or run a application with custom domain, then you don't have to touch a root Nginx configuration file because you should not do that. That's not a best practice. Instead, you should create your own configuration file, and which is what we are going to do now. So since we are going to have this domain simpleapi.coderjourney.com, so we are going to create a configuration file here. You can see this is something we are going to run, and I will show you what this command is doing. So here my domain name is this. So I will run a command like this. I will create a file like this. So my domain name is simpleapi.coderjourney.com, and I will add a conf extension to this. So I am just creating a file inside conf.d directory with this name. And if you see here, okay, I will close this as well. If you see here, we have to create a directory. I have added this instruction here. Inside this directory, the file name should be domain name.conf. So we are going to open this file in Nano editor and we'll paste this content. Okay. So I will just run this command and go here. I will clean this up. I will run this. So it has created this file and opened the nano editor. Now what we need to do, we need to just copy this command, or sorry, copy this configuration, and here I will okay, I forgot the name of my domain. So I will just keep this simple API. I will update my domain name here, and since my application is running on 3000 port on localhost, I will just keep everything same, and I will just copy this section and I will paste it here. So I am creating a separate configuration file for my domain. I'm not touching the root Nginx configuration. Okay, I will press Ctrl O to write out and then enter, then Ctrl X to exit. So I have copied the content, and if you want to verify, you can just run the cat command. So you can see the content has been copied. Okay, next what? Next you need to run this command to verify the syntax of your configuration and restart Nginx. So you just need to run this command, okay, and hit it. Okay, so the connection test is successful, syntax is okay. Next what? Next you have to install the certbot, which is basically a let's encrypt utility which provides free SSL certificate. So you need to just run this package with DNF install. So I will just use this, and I can use -y so that I don't have to uh, you know say yes and yes again and again. Okay, then this is installed. Now next is what? Next we have to install this as well. So just enter it. copy and paste it, then hit enter. Okay, we have installed these two packages. So finally, you see, okay, I'm closing this. You see, as of now, my API is working here without any SSL certificate. Okay, if I try to run with HTTPS, it is not working. It will not work, I know. Okay, it is not working. Now I'm going to run this command to provision the SSL certificate. So what I will do, I will just use this will, because we only have one domain, so I will remove another domain from here, and I will run this command with this domain. Okay, so this is the command that I have to run in order to create an SSL certificate. And once this SSL certificate is created, it will also update the this configuration file that we have created. So what I will do, I will go here, okay, clean all this, and I will just paste it. So it is asking for my email address, so I will provide my email address so that it will update me once this certificate is going to expire. Okay, yes, yes. So it is requesting a certificate for this domain. Since we have already pointed the domain to this IP, so there shouldn't be any issue. Okay, so you see the successfully deployed certificate for simple api.coderjourney.com to this location. And yeah, I mean, I can access the API from here. And we will also see, okay, we will also see this file, what changes it has made. But before that, we will just hit our API, and you see now it is secure, connection is secure, and certificate is valid. And this is issued at 3:57, which is now 4:57, 4:58. I don't know why it runs 1 hour behind, because I have seen this behavior earlier as well. But there is a certificate, SSL certificate, which is valid, and our API is now running on SSL. Okay, so that's what we wanted to achieve. We are running with custom domain with SSL, and behind Nginx, and our service is also using systemd service, so that it will be automatically started if EC2 goes down or EC2 is shut down. Anyway, so now we are done with all the things. So we will just see what changes it has made in this file. So I will just use sudo cat to print the content of this file. And you see we had updated only content like this: server name, location. But we had not, we had added, I guess, port listen 80, but now it has removed that listen 80, and it has changed the port to 443 with SSL. And it has added this instruction managed by cert port. And it has also updated the keys: SSL certificate, SSL certificate key, include, and all these section has been updated by certbot, which is a utility to generate and manage SSL certificates. So that's what I mean, I wanted to show you in this video how to run a Node.js API on EC2 instance with custom domain with SSL certificate. So I hope you like this video, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.